for joining us. It is Monday night. Time to talk a little Lorcana. We're back on our usual night this week. Thanks to everybody who joined us Wednesday last week. We had a really fun show, but not on a normal night. So here we are back on Monday nights. It's been a quick week since we saw you all last. It's been a long weekend for us. I actually had two set champs that I was signed up for this weekend and ended up not playing in either one because our daughter came down with a stomach bug. People told me initially that daycares were like petri dishes, and I didn't quite understand. Now I do, because we've gotten more. This is all, probably too much information, but more like stuff brought home from daycare than like anywhere else. So we dealt with that this weekend. I didn't get to play. So it makes it so I'm a little Lorcana deprived this weekend. So it makes it extra exciting to hang out tonight, talk to some awesome guests, talk about Lorcana, talk about set champs, take a look at some deck lists. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories. We're going to do trivia. It's going to be a fun night. So, I'm trying to think of any other news from this week. I don't know. I'll get right into it. If you're watching us live, if you're in the live chat, feel free to ask questions throughout the show of our guests or just about Lorcana in general. We'll do our best to answer them. And yeah, so with that, I'm really excited to bring in our very first guest for this evening from the Lorekeepers Inn, one of our favorite podcasts. It's Katie.
Hello.
Katie, thanks for joining us this evening. I say us. Erin will be here soon, hopefully, for a bit.
Oh yeah, no, she's here with us, always. So no, I'm very excited. I'm on. I watch you guys, and now I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to have you. I have to say, when you started your podcast, obviously we're both very excited about it. For people who don't know, the Lorekeepers Inn, it's a little more like it's Lorcana Disney content, but it's a lot more casual. It's taking a break from the competitive scene. Well, you describe it. You describe it better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, the real answer is I didn't want to pick a lane with my content, which is, that's me cheating a little bit. Where I still talk about tournaments, but I really want it to be where Disney fans and Lorcana fans can meet and talk about parks and talk about all those fun things, movies. So yeah, it's just the overlap of where Disney meets Lorcana is where I try to live.
Yeah, and I love it. And we were pretty excited because on one of your very early episodes, Erin got to go on to talk all about one of her favorite Disney movies, The Lion King 1.5, which I don't know that that's a lot of people's favorite, but for Erin, it had like a really soft spot in her heart from the VHS she had as a kid. So the fact that she got to nerd out with you for like an hour about that movie was so fun.
Yeah, and the thing is it's the only S-rated movie so far. So, I mean, you think like, oh, it's not. Well, I mean, they're graded to its peers. So the Disney prequel and sequels, they're their own mysterious ball game with mysterious rules. So yeah, that's the only S-tier one so far. But the downside is everybody keeps bringing their favorite sequel and prequel, and now we're getting to movies that's no one's favorite. So now I'm gonna have to take a break and be like, okay, we have to watch something. We have to watch Hunchback 2. I'm sorry. So that's unfortunately going to be the next round of guesses. You have to watch this movie. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, well, sometimes those are the most fun movies, though. And you are going to be the best equipped, you and your guests and your listeners, when we get these random like B or C tier characters that nobody's heard of pop up into Lorcana, and everybody's like, "Where is that from?" And you're like, "Oh, that's so and so from Return to Atlantis or whatever."
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm ready for that. Although the one that got me this week was Heathcliff. I was like, what is that? Because it's the curveballs that they throw in there. Or anytime I see a cat, I'm like, is this from Aristocats? Because I still have not seen Aristocats. So I just assume all cats. Sergeant Tibbs is not from Aristocats, but that was my assumption for a while.
Oh, I can't wait for Aristocats. The day Marie shows up as a card, like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, and it could be a lady doesn't start a fight, and yet somehow you banish a character or something something flavorful. They always cook up the most delightful synergy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I didn't get to play in set champs this week. I know I was mentioning you didn't either. I understand. And it's been, I think, a little bit. I don't know. It's hard from the outside looking in, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing I said is I got the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And I think it's so pervasive in general, especially with like the DLCs. We only have one more stateside. And then after that, I mean, then who knows what the next things are. So it's easy to look at everyone getting their Mirabel and be like, I'm the only person that didn't get one. But then you talk to people and you didn't go. I didn't go. So there's dozens of us that didn't compete. And I think that's okay for like the health of
Mhm.
it's good to say, I don't have to do it all, but also I think naturally you want to do it, especially when you see everybody like being so happy. I'm like, I don't want that. That could be me.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is a balance, right? Because I do feel like we have these conversations periodically, not just about set champs, but about even like card collecting. And you hear people say, "Oh man, I've got a set binder that for the first 5 sets, and now 6 sets coming out, and I don't know if I can do another whole like set binder." And or people trying to keep up their competitive meta decks, and every set it becomes a grind after a
Mhm.
while. And so with set champs, just like so many other things in the game, I think there is like you said, recognizing when it's time to like take a break for your own
Mhm.
personal well-being, and then come back later refreshed to maybe the next round of set champs or whatever it is, I think is a very healthy thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I did an episode with my husband actually because I realized that he's a psychiatrist. So I was like, we should do an episode about like the mental health of it all because I think it's hard. There's always that fine line of being like, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying this, and then you like somehow it flips, and then you start making it unfun by obsessing over what you're not doing, what you're not buying, what you're not winning. So for me, I'm just not going purely because I mean it's a fun reason. I'm going to Japan later this week, so
That's a
boo,
good
I
reason to
can't be
not
sad.
go. Yeah, find me some Japanese Lorcana cards.
That's my goal. I am going to be on the hunt for that Mickey. But yeah, I was like, okay, I can stress and be like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for Japan and I'm gonna have this meta deck and I'm gonna practice. Cause I mean, that's the other thing too, is if you want to win, you have to practice, and that's not easy either. So you just kind of have to be like, okay, I can still go to league, I can still talk about Lorcana, and I'm not less of a player for missing one tournament, one set champ. It won't be the end of my Lorcana career. Probably. I don't know. Maybe you'll talk to me in 3 months, like it was,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that was the moment when it all
Yeah. Yeah,
changed.
right. But
Is not winning that Mirabelle.
and I think it's cool. I mean, gosh, hearing everybody's deck, I think this meta is the most exciting in the fact that I feel like anybody can make a surprise. Like there's just so many different paths to victory right now. Seeing the winning deck list have been absolutely thrilling. It's not a copy and paste. Everyone is just like a snowflake of unique deck lists in the top 8, it feels like. I mean, there's obviously ones that you see that are still good, but
Sure.
it's still exciting seeing like a blurple come through or your amethyst, amber aggro. I'm excited that aggro is viable. I just think that's always fun, especially for people who get a little impatient with long days. And
I
so yeah,
agree.
but we can still watch the results. And I think that's the fun part is I think once you kind of be like, yeah, I'm not doing it, and just kind of be like, that is what it is. It's a lot more fun than to just be happy for other people and just be like, I want to see your deck list.
I agree. I will have to. I do have to bring up somebody asked a question here. We're going to get to in a little bit. This mystical tree question. If you know
Yes.
it, if you know the question, we're going to talk about it.
Oh,
If
it's
you don't
very
know, we're going to get to.
controversial. People
I
are
know conspiracy theories, tinfoil hats.
I know. Knives was like the first one. He's like, I need someone to confirm this. And I'm like,
Right.
oh.
We'll get there. I do want to bring in Luke before we do that, but what did I want to mention? Oh, what you said about the top 8 too. I love, and we talked a little bit about this last week, but I love the fact that the the Mirabels are going to the top 8 instead of the top 4 for a variety of reasons. And I think one of the side effects is, like you're saying, there are Mirabelle winning decks that are making the top 8 that are complete surprises that are out of the blue, off meta, and turn Aaron's volume up here. And it's really cool to see. And we're actually going to look at a couple of those later with a couple players who made the top 8 in their very first set champ. So I'm really excited about that. Hey, Aaron.
Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
Aaron. We've already talked about Lion King 1.5. That discussion's over, unfortunately. I know.
Wait, but really?
How good is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 10, obviously.
Okay.
But
Clearly.
it has to be rated for what it is. You can't
Yeah,
rate
no,
it. Yeah.
against other Disney sequels. Yes. Not against The Lion King itself.
I will say,
So-
as some people, so sorry, not to be like, we're done with Lion King 1.5. I was serious, but no. But speaking of like the top 8, somebody pointed out that like some people are saying like, maybe it could have been fun if it was tiered, like, 4 through 8 got something. And so I think there's still room to play around with it. But I think it's very cool that more people are going home with something. That's my most exciting thing is like when you spend 6 hours doing any activity, it feels not great to go home with nothing. So I think the more people going home with something in their hand that they're like, this is mine, I did it, I think
yeah.
is a net positive. But as far as like tweaking it, there's so many things they could do between stamps, foil, non-foil treatment. They can tweak it all sorts of fun little ways. But I think the top 8 was a really good call, just because it's painful to go home with nothing.
It's a step in the right direction. And I agree that there are other ways. Totally agree. There are ways they could differentiate top 4 from top 8, and they do have the champion mat and the other mat, but yeah, it is a step in the right direction. Because making the top cut and then losing, like getting your deck checked and getting that break, and like you're all excited, and then you like lose the die roll in the first round or whatever, and then you are out, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, and you go home and you're like, or the worst is if you carpooled with somebody.
Right.
Oh, and then you have to wait until the end.
Yeah, you have to pretend to be like, no, this is good. I'm not sad. This is good. No, so all around, I think exciting to see. And I think the color palette of this one is so pretty. It's such a joyful card and a joyful mat. So that's the one thing I'm like, I'm probably gonna buy it still, because I'm somebody where even if I didn't earn it, I still might get it, because I love shiny cardboard, and I can earn it with my hourly wages. So
as do so many of us.
Yes.
I know, right? So
shiny cardboard.
That is true.
So much joy.
This is not my first set not playing in set champs. Last set, we had so many different conflicts due to DLCs and everything else. Our locals, my LGS had a set champ the same day as Dallas DLC. I was like, so I had to buy my Ursula. I bought Knives Ursula.
It's good. It's good to get it from someone you know. So you're like, I know where this was born. You know, it's basically you followed its journey.
Its Knives card forever. But I do want to talk some more set champs, and I want to talk about this conspiracy theory a little bit. But before we do that, let's bring in our next guest, another first time on the show. Very excited to welcome.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just assumed.
It's just a very exciting day for people. We're all.
I know. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% sure I've been a terrible person and forgot to invite him on before this. So, but so he's waiting in the green room. So let's welcome in Wonderland, Luke. How's it going?
Hey.
Pretty good. And yes, it is my first time.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Welcome to the. We don't have. I mean, I wish I could say like Lorekeeper's Inn or something cool. Welcome.
I know. Yeah, that's the benefit of having a place titles. I'm like, you're at the inn, but we're in the Illimitarius hangout. So the lair.
Yeah.
The place. The place we all
I will say, Katie, when you do go on your pod, like it's so very atmospheric as you like launch the recording, like getting you into the inn and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, which is like, it's hard because I bring my guests on and they're like watching me really like do a bit, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you have to watch me do this bit. Shout out to the Rules of Villainy. I did like a Halloween episode, and I did a very in-depth like haunted mansion spiel.
Very nice.
Ooh.
Well, anyway, welcome Wonderland.
Yeah, enough about you. I'm just kidding. Hello.
Go off, Katie. Go off.
Well, I'm excited to talk about you because behind you is a very exciting thing too. So.
Oh yeah, let's jump right to that. Good segue.
Yeah, the elephant in the room, or the banner in the room.
The banner in the room. Look at this thing. This is I could talk about what this is. I was really excited to see it get off the ground last week. Both of you were fantastic on it. But rather than me talk about it, why don't Wonderland, you talk about this, and then Katie, I'd love to hear about your experience casting it last week.
Say Katie carried last week. It was fantastic. So we just wanted to create a league where like the teams could get together and play some games. A lot of people were kind of like not feeling the webcam event, so there's not like a huge prize thing on the line, so you don't have to worry about any issues with that. We just want more content. Like there's just not enough Lorcana to watch realistically, and this is one way to try to fix that and kind of get people out there. It's like try make it closer to sports so you can root for a team and stuff like that. And maybe if things get crazy, you could play fantasy Lorcana League or something like that and draft players. Just so many possibilities. It could be fun. It should be fun. It was great last week.
Yeah, you really learn so much from watching people who love and practice their deck. Because I mean, having two teams that are going to the DLCs, basically I watched Zen play not purple, Amethyst, Emerald in a way that changed my entire perspective on the deck. Like you watch people play decks and you just see them differently. It recalibrates your brain. It's just it's delightful to get to see people play live because it gets you out of your pattern of thinking of how you might even see your own deck that's exactly the same.
Yeah, the goal of it is that we're only going to be showing, like, all the games are cast, right? So there really won't be games happening that you don't get to see. So you're going to get to watch that high caliber play, all of it. So instead of going and watching a DLC and you're going to watch everybody play, which is great. Everyone loves to be able to go back and see themselves on a feature match. I was ecstatic to get a feature match in Atlanta. That was like great. Like super happy about that. I wish I wouldn't have lost the next round so I could have continued to get feature matches, but alas, that happens. And so it's like the theory is, it's like, what if like every week was like a day 2 casting of a DLC in caliber of players, and that's what we're trying to do.
I love it. I mean, it's for all the reasons that you all said, not enough Lorcana content, high caliber players, watching them play, listening to different people commentate. Katie, listening to your commentary, was just wonderful. And then, the best way to learn how to play better, to improve your game, is watching the very best pilot decks that they know well, against other top players. And you're going to be bringing that every week, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I will say it was scary because he's like, hey, can you step in for Liam? I was like, oh, because that was like, can I step in for like somebody like JV? I feel like this is varsity, and right now I'm kind of like intramural, if we're gonna be honest. So it was
You did a great job.
The only downside is I would have studied Sapphire. Sapphire's a color I've never played. I can't handle the pressure of it. It's too much inking, too much power, too much. So that was rough. Watching someone play Sapphire, I was like, oh. People are probably knowing they could see through. And maybe the comments I made too, like, who knows what they're doing just over there inking. But it was
what Zeno was doing.
Yeah.
You knew what he was doing with the green purple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's so good. So, yeah, it was very fun. And I think it's cool that, right, I know you brought in your Team Labyrinth because, it's a first exhibition match, but knowing that it can be all sorts of fun things. It can be teams can form, people, I'm sure that there's all the different routes. So that's what I'm most excited about, to see what people like. Do they rise to it? Do they get inspired by it? I just want to I got to get a team because I want a jersey. Watching you guys, whenever I see Forbidden Mountain and Team Labyrinth, I'm like, I want a jersey. That's so cool. I've never had one.
I want to make an Illumiteers jersey in addition to all my other projects, but like nobody would wear it. It would be like, Aaron and I.
A team of 2. That's a team.
Hey, that is a team.
High five.
Yeah.
Like,
you can always do giveaways.
Volleyball. We're like a beach volleyball team.
But nobody would.
You do enough of them, you can make a team with all the giveaway jerseys.
You're like, oh, you're on a team. You won.
There's like the fine print in the by entering this giveaway, if you win, you belong to the Team Illumiteers, blah 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 blah. We will take credit for all of your DLC wins, henceforth in perpetuity.
Like, somehow DeCandio and Zan win all of your giveaways. Who would have thought?
Oh, it just so happens.
Yeah, wow.
Going to R&B.
Welcome to the team.
Yep.
Speaking of
don't
R&B,
be poaching my teammates.
I know. I was gonna say, speaking of R&B, he did say in the chat he also missed at champs. I don't know if people saw, not to bring down the energy, but he got hit by the storm, and so I wanted to say that sucks, and I'm sorry, and I'm glad that he's safe. And I don't know if anyone's seen the GoFundMe, but I think that's cool that his Manticore, the leader, I don't know what you would call Manticore. Team owner. Yeah. He put a GoFundMe. And so I think it's cool to help out other people in the community. The Lorcana community is so beautiful. I love it. So I think it's really nice that the minute it happened, his team was standing up for him and other people are like, okay, share it. So I just thought I'd give a shout out to that because I saw that in the chat. And
definitely been the most positive and welcoming like TCG or gaming community I've been in, for sure.
Totally. I always wonder if that's just me. Like, I say that all the time, and I'm like, am I the only one that thinks that? And so when other people like say it, I don't know. It is true. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like,
I was just gonna say, I think there's a few contributing factors. So like, you have a lot of players like me who have played Magic forever, right? And we're just looking to explore at other things. So like, most of the people who've played Magic that long, on average, are good people, because like a lot of the toxic people will get pushed out. No one wants to play with them because they're, you know, super toxic. So unless they create a community around being toxic, which I'm not going to name any of those, you know, but like those people get popular, otherwise they get pushed out. And so you're having like a lot of the people who've played card games a long time, especially family-based people who want to play games with their spouse or their kids, and a Disney game comes along, they're going to jump on that. So I think you have a higher percentage of people like that who are more family oriented and like they're used to it, so they're more apt and forgiving and helping people learn how to play.
Yeah, it's very like a self-preserving community where I feel like everybody's kind of building the community they want to see. It's so cool. The kids in my league, like everyone's like, "Do you need any cards? Do you want to do this?" Like they're very like treating them how they would want to be treated as a kid in that space, kind of thing. And I think that there's a lot of that just naturally throughout the community, which has been super cool. So I love that, and that's why I love the Lumineers Champion League, is because it's another way where it's like, okay, well now I get to play in real time, which is daunting for people afraid of webcam games. It's daunting, but then it's not. Once you do it, then you're like, oh, I guess I can handle that. I can handle that. It's just an extra camera. But it's very cool.
That's the best way to describe it. It is daunting and then it's not.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, I was scared. But the casting part was very cool. I was very happy to circle back to that. I always wondered how you do it, because it's hard. You can't really do it until you get to talk about it. Yeah. And it's one of those things that is very cool. I think that I hope you guys provide that opportunity to other people, because it's something where, it's kind of like in high school where you do like job shadowing. That's how I felt it was. Like, I'm like, look, I get to pretend to do this thing. And it's very cool to have that, because you don't get it naturally. It's a newer game. There's not a lot of different ways to get that out there. So I was really happy that you provided the opportunity to me, and I'm excited to see where it kind of goes, because it is a very fun thing to do. It's always fun to get to talk about somebody else doing something and be like, I wouldn't have done that. How fun is that?
What do you think was the hardest thing you did? Like, what was the hardest thing about casting? For me, it was definitely saying green instead of emerald. And like using the wrong verbiage. Yeah.
Mine is, I would joke, because every once in a while on the cast, you guys, some people would say Haversham, and I thought that was funny because I was like, honestly, that's better. And then I did it because when you're talking your brain, it's just really hard. It's hard to filter your thoughts before you say them. So I think it's a skill, and I think it's something that has to be practiced. And so I think that was the hardest thing, is like slowing down your brain to mouth delay, like adding a time delay a little bit while still keeping it relevant to what they're doing. I think that was the interesting thing. I mean, Liam, you've done what, 5 DLCs?
Yes.
So yeah. Has there been anything where you're like, this is the part? Is it saying Hiram Flaversham? Because that one's really hard.
I'm less concerned about mispronouncing words than I am about using the wrong terminology.
Yes.
Because there's so much vernacular that it's not only terms from other card games that you use, like let's say tap and Magic, or library, which are Magic terms, but there's also vernacular that creeps in, like ramp or mulligan is a Magic word, but I think that's now common usage. Or wheel is a very common used word now that comes from Magic. And so weeding those out and code switching to like just Lorcana language is tricky. But the hardest part really is, I think, is when you sit down in that chair, whether you're doing color or whether you're doing play-by-play, it feels like there is now an expectation that you know everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And while you should be very, very good, and if you're a competitive player, you will also, you will recognize a lot of what they're trying to do, and you can bring people on that journey. You don't have full information. You can't read the opponent's body language. You can't, you don't know what, the gut of that player is saying. And so you just don't have full information, and it's being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and being comfortable admitting sometimes on stream, I'm not sure what that player's think. Perhaps this is what they're thinking, but being comfortable, being ignorant, I think, is the hardest part for me, because there is just this expectation. You feel like there's this expectation for people watching that you know everything.
Yeah, it's hard. You don't have omniscience, as much as that'd be cool. Uh, and I think to me though, I kept reminding myself that the best part of like watching live sports is when something happens that nobody expected. So I think like that letting go of the fact that, that's the fun. If I knew everything, then it'd be just watching an academic show. So I think it's kind of fun when you're like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. Or kind of actually like sometimes you'll scream, not you, but it to be like, oh my God, it's Be Prepared. Like that's the moment that I think makes it fun.
Yeah.
It's also dangerous. Like it's when the play that you don't expect happens and you're like, what are they doing? It's like, wait, I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have done that. No. I mean, that was an interesting play they made there. I'm curious as to the reasonings behind it. Maybe we'll find out in the next turn or two.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Where you're like, huh?
Yeah. No, that is 100% true. Like it is very hard to watch players do something that you think is suboptimal and to not comment on that, because you want to like know what you're doing, but you also want to tell the audience, perhaps that's not. But on the other hand, the problem is, like, again, you can't see the opponent's body language.
Mhm.
You can't see if your opponent has perhaps been trying to like what's the right word I'm looking for? Bluff, something.
Yeah.
And then there's also just gut. Like sometimes players, even in the best players, will make a play that they know is suboptimal. They're like, I have a 60% chance of this working out, a 40% chance of this working out. But based on all of my experience today, I'm going with a 40% chance. And that's my call. And so sitting there, and watching them make that play that you're like, I'm not sure why they did that. It is hard to kind of navigate that when you're talking an audience through it.
Yeah, and no one wants to go back and listen to the commentators trash talk their plays through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And while it's an interesting thing, like we want the most competitive level there. So like we definitely did a little bit of questioning some plays that the players made, but like I don't think it was done in a manner that was just like, these fools, how can they not see the onboard tricks? Like, come on.
If only you were sitting and not actually playing, you would have seen right through this.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's so there's nothing I think cooler than seeing two players who love the game doing what they do best. I just think it's just so thrilling. I mean, there was a mirror match of Steel Amethyst, and I'm like, what could that be? And it was so fun because it was like a super aggressive, no card higher than 4 cost. And I'm like, if you describe that to someone doesn't play, they're like, that doesn't sound very fun. But I was like, oh, it was thrilling. I mean, that board was flooding and wiping and flooding and amazing things. So
It's also,
you did some commentary before. Oh, we're gonna say.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's also just fun seeing decks that you're not expecting do really, really cool things. Like that within itself is like watching kind of a story unfold, or seeing those really cool plays. Watching a deck that you don't really know what's coming next. You're kind of like, why are we playing this? And then it becomes even better when it's actually a really good deck. You're like, this is amazing.
I know. You're starting to look and you're like, do I have that card? Do I have that card? And you're like already thinking about like the next deck you're going to build. That's my favorite match, is the one where you're like, well, I have to build this. I will build this.
You're like, Perdita stock's about to go up.
I know. Oh my gosh. I had a friend message me and said, hey, are you selling your Perdita? I'm like, whoa. Like during a match I was watching, I was like, I'm watching the market too, buddy. I know. I know what you're trying to do.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I do, gosh, I hate to move on from this conversation, but I will summarize by saying Champions League, you all should watch it. We're going to put a link in the show notes to the channel and tell you how to get there. So check it out. We have a couple more guests to bring in. Before we do that, I want to spend just a couple quick seconds on conspiracy theory time, because I said we would. For those who have not been following reveals today, we got a strange card. We got this mystical treehouse, I think it's called. It's too small for me to read on the screen. But what this screen is showing you is every single set, people track the cards that are revealed, and usually every set has the same number of cards. And so that's what people have put in here. And Mama Odie's Treehouse, thank you, Caroline. Mama Odie's Treehouse came out, and it is a number that should be Emerald's first number. I think it's card number 69, right? It should be Emerald. And so now this has a different number, and we can't figure out what that means. What does this mean?
It's mystical.
I don't know.
What does it mean? Someone, please. This isn't rhetorical.
Yeah, seriously. Chat, what does this mean?
I know. I mean, we got Why Breezy saying Cusco watch. That's not helpful. It's not Cusco unless he's in the Mama Odie's house, which could be true. I don't know.
So it's either they're just adding one extra card to each ink combination, right? So that would assume that number 35 is amber. But wait,
No,
that
no,
doesn't
it
work
means,
because 70 would be amethyst then, right?
yeah, it would mean either amber is getting an extra card or amethyst is getting an extra card. Because it's just one number off. So one of those colors is getting an extra card, but why?
But then Rochelle came in and said that I think she commented in the official Discord server that there are not going to be different numbers of colors. So every color has the same, was my interpretation of her comment.
So amethyst and amber, like all 6 ink colors would have the same number of cards in them.
Yep.
But if amethyst is only one number off, how is that possible?
I don't know.
They have to split. Because they asked them, what if like they're, I don't know. It's just hard.
Because if amber then had another card, then amethyst. Well, I guess, okay. Well, that's what that means then. Sorry. So then amethyst might have, oh no, I'm off. I don't know.
Yeah. So Rochelle's statement was, just to give a heads up, since I've heard some worry that the numbering means the colors won't get an equal number of cards in set 6. There's a different reason you're all noticing the numbering being off. You will find out eventually. Yeah. So
colorless? Could there be colorless cards coming or something?
Whoa!
Where would you fit those in? I mean, because I thought the same thing. Where would you fit that in? Numbers one. Well, I guess it could. Well, no, because that would bump. Because if you put them up front, like cards 1 through 6, that would bump amber into amethyst's numbering, and we already have an amethyst card.
So if there was just one colorless,
and it shifts everything one number.
Yeah.
Would that do it?
Yeah.
If everything's shifted by 1 and we don't know.
Card number 1 is, what's the special item of the set?
Well, now this is interesting because we do have 204, which is Galactic Council Chamber, which 204 is always not always, but since Ink Lens has been a location.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that tracks, but someone give me 205, then I'll know.
Right.
We just someone reveal the last card. Whoever has it, please. I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bribing people with a sticker.
Yeah, that's all I got. Okay. That's not illegal. Stickers. I just need to know. It's just it's hard in the math of it. That's the thing that's getting me.
What if they're adding a coin to the game?
Coin like
card
in
1.
Are you referring to like in what's it called?
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone.
I don't think that's what they're doing, but it would be a funny thought.
Yeah, that would be a funny thought. I don't know. I think you're on the right track. I think there's probably a new card type or something that we're getting in cards. Yeah,
sitting at spot 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. In those first few slots that are bumping everything down. That's the only thing I can think of. Unless the colorless cards, Or
it could be all instead of colorless, it's all color. Because maybe because B Squared did say, I don't think colorless is coming based on some conversations he had. But like, what if they're like, it's not colorless, it's colorful.
It's the inverse. It's rainbow.
A spectrum card, and it's like the rainbow after the storm on the Azurite Sea. I'm cooking. I got this.
So, would that be the exact same thing as?
Yes, it's kind of like how like black is the absence of color, or no, white is the presence of all color, and black is the absence. Either way, maybe it's something like that, where it's not colorless, it's colorful, which is more, on brand. Yeah. I don't know. I know nothing. I'm just excited.
The ink spilled and all of the ink got onto one card.
They did say there's going to be things that are going to happen that we don't even know. We can't even perceive. So it's going to be something, or it's going to be something we're going to, oh, that makes sense. And then we're going to feel silly.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know. I like that it's Mystic Treehouse and then it's a mystery. It should be called like the Mystery Treehouse because it's what it is. Who knew something so little could break us all?
Yeah, I do wonder if Ravensburger realized like that card was gonna like that particular card was gonna
start making every content creator's eye twitch. Like, what is happening?
Unleash the storm. All right, excuse me. Okay, I do. If you're watching in the chat, if you have any theories as to what this might be, let us know. But it's out there, and I don't know. If you get it right, I don't know. We'll all send you stickers.
Yeah, you win an emoji. We'll send you a cool GIF.
Yeah. All right, but we do have a couple of guests waiting in the what?
I'm sorry. Katie is just too funny.
That is true. That is true. Okay, we need to move on and bring in. We've got a couple of guests waiting in the green room. Really excited to welcome them in. Before I do, just a quick story. One of the things that we love, on this channel, and I think all of us, in the content space, is seeing new people come into Lorcana. It's seeing families play Lorcana. It's all of the things, like Luke that you were talking about earlier, that make Lorcana special. When we get to see that stuff happen, it's pretty amazing. So saw a story earlier this week about a family who, dad played Lorcana. His daughters decided to pick it up through Gateway, and we can get their story, but they went to their first set champs and everybody won Mirabels, and really fun. So we have them, we're gonna join us in a second. We have their deck lists and really excited to talk to them. So excited to welcome in Jason and Ariel and Delilah. Hey, you all. Hey,
hello.
Hey, there you go. So you're all at your LGS, I understand, joining us from your local game store.
Yeah, we came down here because it's where the girls really learn to play, and they thought it would be a cool experience to do this interview here.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your story. Like, how did you all get into Lorcana and wind up at this set championship this weekend?
I'll let the girls kind of tell how they got in. I got into Lorcana first. They were my card sorters, and wanted to learn to play. And then I'll let you ask the girls how they started.
I mean, first of all, can y'all introduce yourselves?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. Which one's Eric? Yeah.
I'm Ariel. Hi.
Hi.
And
Nice
Delilah. Hi.
And Delilah, so nice to meet you. So Ariel and Delilah, how did y'all start learning to play? What was that like?
Well, so my dad started playing, so we started sorting his cards.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got the gateway set for us, and that's basically how we learned how to play. But kind of at first he thought the
Ursula's Quest.
Ursula's
We started
Quest was-
trying to teach on that, and it wasn't.
but it wasn't the actual gateway.
Yeah. I think the gateway is so cool. I'm so glad it exists, because I think that's the thing, is like it's hard to know where to get in. And the starter decks are fun, but they can be pretty advanced. So was it fun working through the level 1, 2, 3, 4? Was that like rewarding to get to open each pack?
Yeah, really. We kept asking him, "Oh, are we ready yet? Are we ready yet to open the next pack?" And it was super exciting. Yeah.
It's like leveling up like your black belt now of Lorcana.
And then after a couple weeks, I started off with a puppy deck, and then
Classic.
And then started playing his.
Yeah, and then I started with the gateway deck, and then I got into it more, and then I used his broom deck. He made me a broom deck.
That is quite fun. Now in the broom deck, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask what it's like getting to share a hobby with your dad, and the three of y'all get to do this together as a family.
It's pretty cool.
What do you think it is, hobby, to do with that?
Fun.
Have you beaten your dad yet, or is that still the final achievement? Or have
I've
you...
been beating him a bunch.
Okay, that's a
It's a 50-50 chance I'll beat him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what decks did you guys play this weekend? Or did you build your own decks? Or oh my goodness, these pictures are great.
Same deck. Yeah, that one was my deck. Yeah.
So how does this deck work? What are you trying to do with it? And how did it work for you this weekend?
So pretty much all the brooms you want to play, because it's kind of like it's a broom deck. And then Yen Sid, if there's 2 or more brooms in play, he quests for 3 lore.
And then what are you trying to do with your brooms to get that win condition?
And then for questing to get more lore with my brooms, I play the Sorcerer's Tower, and they move there for free, which is nice. And they get 1+1 lore when they're here, so they all would quest for 2.
So just sweep up the competition.
Yeah, yeah. And then Mickey's Sorcerer decides to let broom characters cost 1 less to play.
Yeah.
And if they die in the challenge, they go back to your hand.
So what we saw a lot in the challenge was, I think the broom deck really threw a lot of people off, and having 5 low-cost brooms down, and then she dropped Sorcerer's Tower to quest for 10. Is something that most people aren't expecting. So I think she caught a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, it gets out of hand really fast. It's one of those decks where you're like, okay, well, okay. And so it's definitely a very fun deck. And you have my favorite card. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What's your favorite card? Ask her what her favorite card is.
What's your favorite card?
Oh, you have Gathering Wisdom and Knowledge. It's the one where you're just like, and I will get 2 lore. Thank you. I think that one's so fun, where it's just a coupon to redeem 2 free lore.
Yeah. And then I have Pete in my deck, which makes them not allowed to play any songs. So if I see they're using like a amethyst deck with amethyst in it, I'll play a Pete once they're at like 6 ink, and then I'll be like, nope, be prepared for this turn.
Ruby.
Yeah. It sounds like you're prepared. You're prepared for be prepared.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, and then I used to have a Madam Mim in my deck, and then I would Madam Mim the Pete back and then play it again, so they can be prepared again.
I love that.
So it worked well for you this weekend, apparently. Did you feel comfortable playing it and confident?
Yeah, a little bit, but the first tournament was a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What tips do you have for anybody, especially any younger players who are thinking about making the jump into their first competitive event?
I guess just pretty much have confidence and try your best.
Yeah,
No,
I think it can be hard. I think as an adult, when you walk in, it can be hard. So I imagine when you're young, it can be like, well, look at all these grown-ups, and then you took home a Mirabel. So the lesson is, if you're confident, you might get a Mirabel.
That's true.
Yeah, that's good advice for everyone.
Yeah.
So
Now-
one thing we added to her deck at the day of the tournament was We Know the Way. And it was just something to tweak, and she pulled off a few where she pulled a 1-drop broom, shuffled her deck, and played a 5 or 6 drop broom for a 6-drop broom for free. So that also caught people off guard.
That's so cool.
I want to build this deck now.
I know, I kind of do too. It seems like a super fun deck to play.
Yeah. I like the broom deck.
Now, Ariel, is your favorite card? I don't want to. Is it Ariel, or do you like it?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense. If there's a card named Katie, that'd be my favorite card, I think. Now, what was your?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. And is she in this deck? Nope, she's not in there. But it's still, I'm loving it. We got the lemon lime going.
Mm-hmm.
So Ariel, what are we doing here?
Typically try to mulligan for all the 1-drops first, but still remember to get some inkable cards, or else not that good for you.
And I see you have Mirabel at the Mirabel tournament, so that seems like a good plan, is to bring Mirabel to attract more Mirabels.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already put the new ones in?
No.
We joked about it.
Was Mirabel your good luck charm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ariel, what was your win condition with this deck?
Probably my number one win condition is getting a whole bunch of 1-drops on the board, and then questing a bunch. But like another win condition I have is with the queen.
That is very cool. That combo is something with the queen and Mirabel.
Yeah, the queen, Mirabel, Robin Hood, those three, and then with Sven also.
So tell them about the one turn that you.
So one turn I was playing against this one guy, I forget his name, and so the game was really close. He was at like 17, and I was at like 13. So I played the queen, and I had the queen out, played a Mirabel, gained 5 lore, used Sven to ready the queen again, and then used another Mirabel I had in my hand. So getting 10 lore that one turn,
So
and
good.
having other 1-drops in my hand, and then 1-dropped on the board, and questing with them got me to a lot of lore and led me to win the game.
Awesome. This looks like a fast deck. I do imagine, though, the inkable problem you mentioned, though, I see all your 1-drops pretty much are non-inkable. So, yeah, that could be a challenge, I think. But you navigated that pretty well, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Like the mulligan, you got to keep at least 1 inkable card in your hand before you mulligan. Because chances are there's a more likely chance of getting like uninkable cards than inkable cards most of the time.
Yeah. Oh.
So another funny story with this deck. So when I was teaching her to play, and this is probably 2 weeks into her learning Lorcana with the puppy deck, she's like, "Can I played this deck or a variation against her, and after about 4 games, she's like, "Can I try that deck?" And I never got it back.
Yeah, the classic tale.
She was able to get the concepts really, really quickly, and she's like, "No, I'm keeping this deck."
Yep.
Just for a minute.
I feel like for both of you, I feel like Gateway just came out. And so between y'all learning how to play and getting to your first set championship, that was a really fast transition. What did y'all do to prepare for the set championships?
Well, every Wednesday we go to this store to play Lorcana with a bunch of people. And then every Friday we go to a store in Kelowna to play Lorcana with other people. And that's how we practice.
Yeah, and
then we play at home.
Mm.
The other thing with this particular store, like Orchard City Games was the first place that I came to because it's in our local community. And there's a few long-term Magic players turned Lorcana players. So they are always coaching, and I think what the girls like too is, aside from their first couple of weeks, they didn't hold back. So they said, "That was a really great move, but now I'm going to be prepared you." And so to really learn and help them, what I've seen in the Lorcana community, what I really like about it is that seems to be the norm, is people just want to help other people do better. So, the girls have had a chance to play with a lot of adults that treat them as peers and enjoy playing and making decks better, and people share cards and I'm like, "Oh, you need this." So and it's nice to see my girls actually helping 2 of the other newer people going, "Oh, we need to change your deck, we need to add this." So
yeah, like I was playing in Friday night, and with the location, somebody thought that you could only get the lore from the location if it had a character on it. And then I told them that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So I taught them something, and then you get stickers in that one and this one, I think. to like get into draws and stuff. And then they told the judge to get, or the owner thing, to give me an extra sticker.
I love that.
That's so great.
Now, I do have one question left where, okay, we know that we have the Amber Emerald and we have the Amethyst and Seal. So, Dad, does that mean you were Ruby Sapphire? This is my guess.
Yeah, it's a very good guess. Yes.
Okay, that's the thing when you have a family play in Lorcana, you gotta relegate the ink. You're like, oh my gosh.
Only so many be prepared to go around. Only so many Daisy Ducks.
Have y'all done a 3v3 event yet?
No, we've done it ourselves, and at our local here at Orchard City, we do that when either we're waiting for other people to show up, or if there's a match where it's odds and evens, we'll just do a group of 3 instead of a group of 2. So, but nothing competitive.
Okay, I love our LGS here in Austin. They do a 3 versus 3 event where everybody has to represent, all 6 ink colors have to be represented on a team.
I heard about that.
And they're super fun. I really hope that y'all's LGS does that one day, so the 3 of you can play on a team together. I feel like that would be loads of fun.
Yeah.
Do you ever play multiplayer together? Like 3-player games?
Yeah. So again, nothing to that. More just like 3 people all trying to lure together. So you're, always going after the top
The Ursula one,
so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. Congratulations on bringing home a card. That feels so good. It feels so good to have that card in your hand and be like, it's mine. I did it.
That feels better when you won it, right? Like, you're like, I earned this. Cool. For those watching, Jason did win that tournament, and we did ask for his deck list, but I was told it's secret until after Seattle.
Smart.
So,
we'll see it then. That's what he's saying. Is we'll see it in Seattle. So.
Well, again, that was, so I have been since set 1 Ruby Amethyst all the way through. This set, I found it was average consistent for everything, but I didn't think it was going to be enough for the local meta. So the deck that I brought was actually one of the people at Orchard City who said, hey, let's practice this for a little while so you can take it to sets. So it's his deck list. Otherwise, I certainly would share. But there's a couple of surprises. But Sapphire, Ruby, you know what the majority of the deck is going to be. So.
There's some classics. There's some hits that people like.
Is it icy? Yeah. Is it not icy? That's it's the one. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing that. I'm going to send you a message when Seattle's going on. I'm going to be like, where is this the list? But with that, I think we're going to move on to our next segment, and you all are going to hang out with us, Ariel, Delilah, and Jason, for this next bit. But it is time for trivia with Caroline.
Wow.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Katie.
I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know there was. I was like excited, and then a song came.
I have a theme song now.
That is stunning. A stunning entrance.
That's okay, Katie. If you keep coming back, we'll make you your own intro too.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Yeah, Liam is known for making an intro every now and then.
I was going to say, Nive has an intro.
It's true.
Wow.
I have lots of time on Canva. Caroline, hey, good to see you.
Hello. Always happy to be here.
Yeah, I always do this intro. So for those who don't know, Caroline is our resident trivia master here, quiz master here at the Illumiteers, always running trivia on our Discord server with our other admin Fergus, and here every Monday night where people can win the coveted, still in production, Illumiteers trivia pin. But it's coming. It's coming.
How many have we given away thus far?
Several.
You're in a lot of pin debt right now. You got
so much pin debt.
There's gonna be a lot of mailing going
on.
It's written down somewhere.
There's been 4 in the Discord server, and Stephen Gettle has been doing a wonderful job of keeping track in our guest spreadsheet of who wins each episode.
Oh gosh, thank you, Stephen.
Isn't he wonderful?
So amazing.
We're talking about making a team earlier, and just a team of 2. I was like, Stephen and I would like to have a word.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, how's more?
to be fair, there have been like, I don't know, outside of us, there's like 5 people who have the Lumineers shirts,
Mhm.
and you and Steven are 2 of them. So
Yes.
there you go.
I was gonna say we do
It's
already have
basically a
shirts.
team.
Yeah,
Basically,
he's wearing it.
team
I
already.
saw him at D23 wearing it. I was like, wow, you guys have merch and people wear it. That's like a
We're
double win.
official.
Yeah. Yes. Nani, all the pins will be gone by the time the shipment arrives.
Yeah, that's
You're not
I was
wrong.
thinking the same thing, actually.
Depends on how big that shipment is.
I know it's 150. But
Okay. Well, you haven't given all of them away yet.
that is true. That's true. But they're gonna be beautiful, and I only give away 1 a week. And so this week, since we have guests here, everybody's here for the first time, but Luke and Katie, I fully expect you to be back multiple times. But we'll send this pin off to Jason and family if we all win this week.
Trivia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we get a help? Is this a group?
So
It is cooperative, so it's not
Yes.
competitive. Everyone together is contributing to getting all 5 questions right.
A lot of pressure. I'm
Just don't
scared.
listen to me. I'm terrible at trivia.
Well, so here's the thing: is tonight's theme, since we were talking about the Illuminator Champions League, we have a little theme around champions. So there's a little bit of Disney trivia, a little bit of Lorcana trivia going on in here. So Luke might be able to help with some of the Lorcana trivia.
Luke, you got to carry us. You got to be the anchor on this.
I'll try, but remembering things is not my forte.
Oh, no.
All right, so we're going to start off with a Disney question. What Disney movie was the champion of the box office? So what Walt Disney Animation Studios film has earned the highest box office over the course of its lifetime?
Oh man, that's hard, Carolyn. Because that means I have to do time math. So it's not the premiere; it's just over the course of the movie.
Worldwide box office gross.
Adjusted for inflation?
No.
Uh
I mean, I didn't hear anyone say I can't Google, right?
No, Google is cheating.
Yeah.
Google is cheating.
Caroline frowns on Googling. I speak from experience.
Oh my goodness. Well, like I know, so I like the things that it could be is Lion King the live action for some reason made a lot. Frozen did a ton. Inside Out 2 did a ton in the box office.
Specifically Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Okay.
So not Pixar.
Okay.
Not the Lion King live action.
But Frozen's
nonsense.
still on the menu.
Yeah, it's got to be Frozen.
I was about to say, Delilah, Ariel, do you have any guesses?
Frozen.
Frozen.
Frozen
I mean-
1 or Frozen 2?
Frozen 2. Yeah.
It's obviously
They're right. It is
the
Frozen
Adventures
2.
Down Under.
This is why we got the 2 of them to get Frozen 2. We got
There we go.
Yep.
Good job.
Sister power.
That's awesome. Thank you.
teamwork.
That was in unison. Frozen.
That's amazing.
Okay. Question.
All
one.
right.
Question 2.
Here's one that's a quote. Make it a close second. What is this competitive quote?
Oh my God, that's one of my
Oh.
favorites.
It's the
It's
Incredibles,
Dash.
right? Yeah.
It's Dash.
Yeah.
It's about Dash, but it is.
Oh,
from
it's
the
it's Dash Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Mr.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, it's so good. Where it's like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Make it a close second. It's when they finally let him run track at the end of the movie.
Very good quote.
He just agreed.
All right, we're doing good. We're
Guys are-
at
you're
40%
doing great.
right now.
2 for 2 already.
2 for 2.
All right. Question number 3. This is a Lorcana question. How many Lorcana cards have champion in their subtitle?
I'm supposed to know this?
Well, we can work together. We got Champion
Work
of
together.
Sherwood. We got
Uh-huh.
Philatides something champion, right?
I'm
Right?
sure some of the Hercules.
Or no, that's a hero. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's
that's good. There's a Hercules for sure.
Well,
Wait, did you say like instead like so it's the subtype, not
in their
like
in their subtitle. It's not a
Yeah.
tag, but it's like part of their subtitle. So like
Oh.
Champion of
so it's
Sherwood.
part of their name? Okay.
Yes.
all right, I got one. So I feel like I contribute in here.
Katie's like, what and done.
Champion of
There's
Sherwood.
I'm fine with
Trainer of
one.
Heroes. Phil's Trainer of Heroes, not champion.
Yeah, dang it. Isn't there a Hercules like the one that has Rush? Is he a champion?
I'm pretty sure there is a Hercules champion.
How many? Wait, you're saying how many are there?
Just how many are there? You don't have to name them all.
So
How many
we're
are
just counting. Well, we got one so far.
2.
Yeah.
3.
4, maybe?
She
Yeah,
said
but
4.
you-
And Ariel's been on it, so.
Well, the answer to the universe is 42, but there's
Well, it's
obviously
less
not
than
that
42.
many.
We
I
gotta
was
go
gonna say,
gotta be
it's less than 42.
4.2 rounded
Someone
down.
said
So let's
6.
go 4.
Okay, we're going with Ariel's guess. 4.
It is more than 4.
Okay.
Oh,
How is it more? Okay.
I will give you one more guess.
Wait, okay.
All
Well,
right.
goodness. So we know it's more than 4. Real Pookie Duke said 6, but there's no reasoning behind it. They just said go with 6.
Backing this up. I don't know.
And we only know 2. Oh,
was gonna
no.
say,
So
you're
Little
gonna
Lord
go
says
with-
King Triton is champion of Atlantica.
Oh,
what's our other
Caroline.
hint? Caroline?
Yeah.
okay. So which 3 do you have right now?
2. We only have 2.
Triton.
You have
Robin Hood.
Triton and Robin Hood.
Oh, champion of cheese.
Champion of cheese, Gus. Yes.
Yeah, someone said Gus. I forgot that's champion. How did I forget that?
Oh.
Okay.
So
Okay. Simba, champion of Pride Rock.
We're gonna- oh,
not Simba, but
Mufasa.
Mufasa, champion of the Pride Lands. Yes.
Minnie?
Minnie, Musketeer champion.
oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, someone said 7. So
We have
Mufasa. Oh, I was like, move? Who's move? My goodness, the slang these kids have.
Yeah.
All right, so we got up to 4. So we got to the number, right?
Now you're up to 5 now.
Okay. Oh gosh. Maximus
So-
is team champ. Yeah, team champion.
and the chat
we got to 6.
coming in strong.
All right, so that is 6. That is Maximus team champion. The question is, do you think there's more?
Oh my god.
Mike says 7.
Yeah, Mike is like, he said 7 and he said 7 with 2 exclamation marks. What is it?
Yes. So we've got 6 without.
So
Yeah.
Pookie Duke says 7. Mike
Okay.
says 7. Pookie Duke says 6. Whose answer are you going with?
I mean, I feel like
Take the pressure.
I know you seemed like you were calm once we got to 6. Like you seemed like you had an aura of calm about you, which makes me believe that we got there.
That is true.
Yes, and yeah. Now you're the Lorcana poker face, right?
Yeah. She did what your opponent does when they think that they're good, is they kind of sit back a bit, and so that's why I think 6 is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay,
6. Final answer?
Yes.
It is 6. Very good.
Woo!
Nice.
You named,
Stressful.
you named them all.
High five, you
I had
guys
to get
did
walked through that one.
Good job,
I got
everybody.
one.
Yeah.
Chat
Shout out
carried
to,
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chat
chat-
really. They yeah.
Chat's the
Little
lifeline.
Lore, questing for lore. Mike Leonard.
I will say what is great about our trivia game is we have to get all 5 questions right, but we have exponential try. We have infinite tries
The rules.
to get the 5 questions
Well,
correct.
that one was hard because what? Now we have like over like 800 or 1,000 cards.
We
at
have
this
over
point.
1,000 cards now.
Yeah.
Valid question.
Okay, next up,
All right.
Caroline.
Next question. This is a Disney question. What is the video game where Wreck-It Ralph finally earns his medal?
Oh.
Hero, dude.
Yes. Well done.
Yeah, you guys
That's
earned
awesome.
that. Yeah.
What's the line?
First
Hero's
try.
duty.
What you say? Got to be step in hero's duty.
It's
No,
his.
You got to
Yeah,
watch your step in a game called
Yeah,
Hero's Duty.
That's
All
very
right.
exciting.
Last question.
Oh wait, that wasn't the last one. I was done.
No,
I'm-
that was
Oh,
that was
okay.
4.
Okay, I was like,
We got
good job, guys.
One more.
Okay.
How many different countries have been represented by Disney Lorcana Challenge winners?
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I mean,
You said unlimited guess. Can we just go like 16, 17?
so we know the United States. We got that one.
Yeah.
We
Canada.
got
Canada.
Six.
that guy? The guy.
Isn't
Are we talking about
Germany?
European ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cards?
All Disney Lorcana challenges. So
Is
European and
The one
Yeah,
that
there's
says
Paris.
6. That might be.
Is DKP?
I'm just gonna assume that all 3 Euros were won by someone of a different nationality. I'm just gonna assume
Mhm.
and hope. I'm pretty sure.
you're very
Toronto-
close.
So it's
But
two.
6 is
So maybe
too
two-
many.
So it's probably 5 then. Like, because I think 9,000, like Diego, and then I think we have a Canadian one, an American one, and then
Yep.
another American, and then I'm just assuming the rest are Americans. But I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
I think all are Americans. Josh is American. Diego, and then
San.
Zan, and then Atlanta. Why am I blanking on his name?
You just said it.
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
he's-
and Brian Cortad. All
he's from-
American as
yeah.
far as I'm aware, and then
Okay.
Canada was Canada. So,
Okay. Wow, Canadian won the Canadian one. That seems
Okay,
fair.
so that's
Wait, didn't Diego win Canada?
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Who
Oh, so only Americans have
I don't
won
know.
in North America.
I don't know where Diego is from.
Diego, or summoning him. Diego, if you can hear me.
interviewed him. I shouldn't. Yeah, he's
Only for a couple more weeks. We got a shot in Seattle. Canadians.
Yes, exactly. Jason bringing it home to Canada.
I think
Diego is Canadian.
Diego is Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nani's Canadian, so she would know.
Yeah. I love
That's why I was
Canadians.
second guessing myself because I interviewed him. I'm like, I should know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got North America down with only
Yeah.
2.
Okay. So
now with Europe.
Frank Karst
So-
is German, right? The guy that won the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I will say he's not German.
It just sounds
Oh,
German.
he's Belgian.
Belgian? All right, someone's a Magic the Gathering. You're a Magic
He's-
the Gathering fan.
I don't know where everyone lives.
But he's like
I know of
he's been
Frank
around
Karsten,
for
but
a
I
long
don't know.
time.
Dude, I
You haven't looked at his pay stubs where
I'm like
his taxes
the
are
worst
withheld?
person
His
Wikipedia
for
page?
geography
Yeah.
questions.
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
worst. Where's my kid at? He could tell you the capital of every state in the country and every like country in the world, and I don't know any of it. He's
All
like
right.
7.
So there's only been 3. There's one in Italy, Britain, and Britain again, right?
No, France.
France. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been 3. So we just have to think of those 3.
There have been 4 challenges in the EU. There's been Italy, Germany, France, and the UK.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
assume they're all from different. I'm with
Well,
Lauren
so
on
that
this
was
one.
that was Wonder's guess.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was-
said
was
too
that
many.
was too
So
many.
5 then.
Five.
So we'll just say 5, and it's like France and Belgium and some other country.
It is 5, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
job.
crushed it.
So Frank Karsten is from the Netherlands.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, Frank. I know he follows me, so
None
he's
of
gonna be
that.
so disappointed.
Sorry, Frank.
Unfollowed.
Te-
Unfollowed.
Théotime Bouchot and Elie Pierre are both French.
Mhm.
And then Federico is Italian.
Wow. We should go to
Sorry,
Epcot to celebrate. You know,
Yeah.
why not?
I mean, hopefully they'll all get to go to
I mean, I will say
Epcot
it took us
to
longer to
celebrate.
figure out who won all of the North American ones than it did the European ones. So
I know. It's hard. Canadians, they're like, sometimes my brother's Canadian now, and I'm always like, you know, sometimes Canada is like the Midwest, but just more north, and they have more maple syrup and poutine. So it's very exciting.
And poutine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the best part.
Very important.
Mhm.
more maple syrup, more poutine, and yeah. I grew up in Maine.
Well, you
so
got
I
there in the
understand.
end.
That's true.
From my trip to Canada, I realized that poutine is way overrated.
What?
And beaver tails are very underrated. If you've
Oh.
not had a beaver tail, it is like a croissant smashed down with delicious. It's just chef's
Do you
kiss.
get one when you land? Like when you land the plane, they say, all
I'm
right.
going to start doing
Mine
it. First thing I'm doing, I'm looking for a beaver tail. Like it's delicious.
Yeah.
Poutine was okay. It
It
just
depends
like-
on where you go.
That's true.
like it was like I did hear that as well, and there are other people who had eaten at the one, and it seemed fine. It just I wish there was more cheese curds, and I heard that that's really what it's all about is
Yes.
the cheese curds.
And that's
mm,
more
Yes, the
food stained
melted
cheese curds.
cheese
Yeah.
curds.
Yeah, Dairy Queen has the best poutine.
No cost.
That's an amazing sentence. The Dairy Queen has the best poutine. Did you know in
Dairy
Texas?
Queen does not have poutine in the
in the
US.
States.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
need to fix that.
They would look at us like,
But in Texas, they do have tacos. I find when I lived in Texas at Dairy Queen, they're like, "We got tacos." So
We
you
do
know,
have
Dairy Queen will
tacos.
adapt to where they are. So-
We also have a
Wow.
Culver's here in Texas, so we can get poutine at Culver's.
Oh,
I don't know what half these words mean.
you will
You know what poutine
I
means?
don't know
We
what
have that in
Culver's is.
Maine.
Well, that's true.
Culver's, the Butterburger. They're from Wisconsin.
Oh,
It's like McDonald's, but an extra 2,000 calories.
Oh, oh, it's so good. Oh,
Okay. Anyway,
all right. Well,
Moving on.
that's-
I was
Speaking
gonna
of-
say the last time Katie and I were on stream together, we talked about fast food too. We were on,
I'm really hungry. So
Lorcana
all the
After
time.
Dark.
Yeah.
I am super hungry as well.
I know, and then somebody just said Whataburger, which
Oh,
honestly, we got
Whataburgers.
Whataburger in Colorado now. The Whataburgers are spreading.
Oh man.
They're so good. So
oh,
good.
man.
One of my favorite kids meals is a Whataburger kids meal.
Well, because it's
Their
a
chocolate
normal
chip
size
cookie.
burger at that point.
Their chocolate chip cookies are so good.
Yeah.
And then they put them on the bottom of the bag, and then they put like the warm burger and the warm fries on top, so that they
Smart.
get nice and like melty and creamy, and they're just so good.
It's innovation.
I know,
Oh,
it's amazing. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just we clearly derailed, but that's okay. It's all right. We did win trivia.
Everybody's
so,
watching the show like, okay.
I'm gonna make a note and probably lose it, but Jason, make sure you remind me later when the
Steven.
when the
Steven's got you.
Steven's on it.
to Jason and Ariel and Delilah for winning trivia pin. Maybe I'll send 2. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe,
Now
maybe I have to come back and win another one. I don't know.
yeah.
But-
I gotta come back and win one because I'm like, no, okay.
I was gonna say
whoa.
you need one for that really nice pin board you made.
I
Yeah,
know.
That's true.
Ah.
It's gonna be shiny. They're gonna be so good. Anyway, Caroline, thanks so much for trivia.
Happy to
That
be
was fun. And with that, I think we're gonna wrap up a little bit early this week. I do want to give everybody a chance to go around the horn. Any closing thoughts? I want to do a couple advertisements, and yeah, I can't wait till next week. So, what I do want to say, Ariel, Delilah, any closing thoughts or any bit of last advice for anybody competing in their first set champs?
Not really for me.
What did I tell you? Just breathe. You know how to play your cards. Just breathe. You know how to
As
play.
long as you know how to play your deck, you're pretty much good.
Yeah.
Great bit of advice.
Dads
Dads say it the best.
Yeah. You got a good coach.
Yes.
But they have the worst jokes.
Well, you
know
can't
what?
win them
That's very
all,
true.
you know.
It's very true. I agree.
I love the best jokes.
I was gonna say
Um,
Liam's got some good dad jokes.
Half this chat is just feeling offended right now, or half.
I
this-
know,
this
right?
phone.
Dads everywhere, gasping, clutching their
Pearl.
dad.
My pearls.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true. I maintain that puns are the highest form of humor.
Oh yeah.
I still have to finish the pun count for Vegas and Birmingham. Haven't gotten around to that.
Don't. I was out of sorts. Don't even.
You were losing your voice, but I gotta give the Birmingham guys at least their fair shake because Ed was brand new.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, Wonderland, where can people follow you like personally, and then tell us about how we can watch the next Champions League broadcast.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter under just Wonderland with 2 V's. You can basically find me on most platforms with just Wonderland spelled with 2 V's. Wonderland./Twitch TV or whatever is my Twitch handle. And that's where you'll find the ICL. And I guess I was going to mention it earlier. I didn't know exactly what we're all doing, but I'll give you a sneak peek that next week that you're going to be casting with me. We are going to be casting the Forbidden Mountain versus Team Luxury. And that's who we get to watch.
Ooh,
So some
Very
big
exciting.
titans there.
luxury. Yeah.
Like
This would be fun.
this week, like Friday this
Yeah.
week. Okay.
This upcoming Friday. Yep,
Cool.
at 6
Yeah,
p.m.
just wanna,
on my
you know,
channel.
Liam keeps forgetting we're in a wedding the following weekend, so
Oh, I don't.
keep.
Because
Now
the
it's in
White
there.
Boxes that weekend, DLC Seattle's that weekend. Like, yeah.
So many things.
So many.
Yeah.
The
no,
wedding and DLC Seattle?
Well, we're not doing both. There's
Yes,
conflict.
we're doing just the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shame you have to tell them you're not going to make the wedding. I mean,
Yeah. Well, why don't you have them just do it in Seattle and just have them get married?
yeah.
Yeah.
They actually live right
We-
outside
we
Seattle.
pitched
They're
that.
flying here to Texas to get married.
Oh.
Dang it, foiled
Yeah.
by geography.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited to cast it next weekend. But Katie left some like really big shoes to fill. So
Oh.
now I'm a little nervous because yeah, it's gonna be
It was
hard.
kind
to,
of fun. It's a little less pressure. That's the fun thing too. Is it kind of felt fun because I'm like, wait, okay, this is a fun, it's a fun
chill.
time. So
I
You know.
think when the interview shut down and Katie was just sitting there with like half of a piece of pizza hanging out of her mouth was probably the highlight of the whole stream. I'm sorry to all the competitors, but Katie sold us.
it was rough. I was trying to eat and I was like, I don't know how long the interview is, and I had like a box. It looked like a raccoon when you turn the lights on and the raccoon's in the trash can. It was that kind of energy.
Yeah. It was,
I will say everyone that I know that watched it cannot stop talking about how great you were, Katie. So
Well, thank you. Inflate my ego. I'll take it.
Yep. It was pretty awesome. Even the chat here is all yeah. So anyway, big shoes to fill. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. It's definitely just the wrong order. Like yeah. Sad.
So, Katie, how can people follow you in your amazing journey?
Well, you can find me at the Lorekeeper's Inn. It's on YouTube. It's a podcast. Like I said, I don't pick a lane and I don't pick a delivery method. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, which is stressful, but I'm hip with the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Your Holes video.
Yeah, I'm like this old man.
Dallas is still my favorite thing.
Oh yeah. I've enlisted my husband to be on the TikTok, so you know. But yeah, it's you guys can find me. I've got lots of weird content, fun content, relevant, irrelevant. So I'd love to have you stop by.
Yeah. And lastly, Caroline, where can people find you?
Same place as always. You can find me at Lorcana Bell on Twitter, at lorcana.bell on Instagram. I'm almost always on Discord, whether that's in Illuminatier Station or as the community admin for Love to Lore. Lorcana is my full-time job until I get a full-time job. So this is what I'm doing with my life right now.
Well, you're doing great. So.
And we love it.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks everybody so much for being here, especially everybody who's here for the first time. I can't wait to have you back again. If you're watching on any platform, we appreciate a follow or subscribe. We're here every Monday night. We do the occasional scripted video. Not as many recently now, though, because
a lot.
Life.
And life. Y'all have been sick.
Also that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you haven't subscribed over on YouTube, go ahead and do that. We help that a lot. But with that, we'll see you all next week.